Hello everyone, and welcome back to the OptiTrack LiveLink tutorial series for Unreal Engine. In the last episode, we talked about getting your data into Unreal from Motive and quickly went over all of the tools you have in the content folder. Be sure to check that one out if you missed it. In this video, we will be covering rigid bodies and best practices. So let's get started. In Motive, create your rigid body. This asset will now appear in Unreal Engine's LiveLink window. Let's add a mesh to the viewport. So we're going to go to Shapes and add a cube. Add a LiveLink controller component to this mesh. Next, select the asset from the LiveLink window that you want to use to control the movement of your mesh. This should begin tracking, however, there are a couple of things we will want to look at. Be sure to update the transform method to movable. I've also went ahead and parented the cube under the OptiTrack LiveLink display so that everything would be aligned. It's important to keep in mind that wherever the pivot of your rigid body is where the origin of the mesh will go. Let's look at an example. Here, I have a sword rigid body and a mesh for this example. We can add the mesh in Unreal Engine and immediately see the issue. When creating this mesh, setting the pivot or origin is important and should be intentional. We do the exact same when creating the rigid body. Now, move the pivot for the rigid body to the same location as close as you can. For my example, I have placed a marker exactly in the same location as the pivot origin on my mesh. Therefore, I can select the pivot and the marker and go to modify and select the align to marker option. Now we can review in Unreal and see that we should be perfectly aligned. You may need to make some adjustments to your tracked object, and you can do so in either Motive or Unreal as you see fit. You can see here that I am cross-referencing Motive and Unreal to see exactly how the rotation of the mesh looks. If you know your object may need a simple 90-degree rotation, you may be able to use the Modify pane and apply your rotations there. Keep all this information in mind as you create meshes and rigid bodies for your projects. In the next video, we will be covering skeleton tracking. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.